It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, this is the last official post-fight review for 2023 as Kazuto Ioka stops Josber Perez in 7 rounds, as well as Hayato Tsutsumi gets the first stoppage of his career in 3 rounds versus Moncion Ventura. So let's talk about it. The action in Japan, the big New Year's Eve card. For those of you who know, and for those of you who don't know, every year in Japan, there's always at least one big fight on New Year's Eve over there, and they just had it earlier this morning. And I wanted to talk about it. So we'll start with Ioka. You know, Ioka was making, I believe now his 16th career world title defense, and yet I think it's his second defense of the WBA title this time around. And look, we kind of knew what it was coming into the fight. Like, Josber Perez was a fighter that was lower in the rankings. They picked him because they wanted to keep Ioka busy. This fight was supposed to be against Juan Francisco Estrada. They were in negotiations. The fight wound up not being able to come to fruition. So he picked a guy lower on the rankings to stay busy in Josber Perez. And he even said it himself. He said, look, I'm just trying to stay busy, get a win, and go hang out with my family. And as far as the fight itself, you know, Perez was a good, crafty fighter, a little bit cagey. But one thing about him is he likes to do a little bit too much moving around. He was over-maneuvering himself out of position a lot of the time. So Ioka kind of just waited him out and would pick his spots when they counterpunch. And before you knew it, this guy was on the canvas, and he had the fight completely beaten out of him. But he gave a good account of himself. I thought he was he just didn't have the skills to match a guy like Ioka. But he did give Ioka some good rounds, and he was competitive in spots of the fight. But nonetheless, Ioka was able to break him down, counterpunch him, and use his own defensive maneuvering against him. So Ioka finishes the year with you know, the world title, with, you know, going into 2024 with a WBA world title, and he's in a very intriguing position because, you know, he could fight John Scrappy Ramirez, who's mandatory, who I know I just interviewed Scrappy. Scrappy was very vocal about wanting to fight Kazuto Ioka, so that would be a very a great fight for the super flyweight division. You got that fight. You know, you still got you got Kosai Tanaka, who's due to fight for the vacant belt, the WBO belt. If he winds up winning, that would set up the rematch from the New Year's Eve fight from back in 2020 when Ioka whooped and gave Kosai Tanaka his first and only loss of his career. So a lot of options for him, but nonetheless, I can't make much of it more than the fact that it was him versus an inferior opponent. He counterpunched himself. He counterpunched very nicely. He was patient, and ultimately wound up breaking him down once he put him on the back foot. So, you know, good win for Ioka to close out 2024 or 2023 going into 2024. So there's that. And then for me personally, the highlight of this card was definitely the co-main event between Hayato Tsutsumi and Moncion Ventura, because Hayato Tsutsumi, he has a big amateur background. He, you know, high-level amateur. I believe he won a gold medal at the World Youth Amateur AIBA World Championships. And he's beaten some good fighters in this weight class, not just in his pro career, but also in the amateurs. He beat Otabek Komatov in the AIBA Youth World Championships back in 2021. So that being said, you know, he's been put in tough, been put in against some good veterans like Gio Santissima early in his career. And he had a fight here against Moncion Ventura where basically the guy on paper, Ventura had a lot of knockouts. He looked to be, on paper, Hayato's most dangerous opponent. And, you know, Tsutsumi hasn't lost a lot of rounds in the pros early on. Like, he's won almost every round he's been in thus far. But the big knock on him has been the fact that, you know, in 4 fights, he hasn't scored any knockouts, and he hasn't really flashed the kind of knockout power you'd hope for, you know, as a guy that's already in 4 fights ranked in the top 15 for a couple of sanctioning bodies, who looks like he will be challenging and be a factor in the featherweight division in 2024. So, you know, there wasn't a lot to make of this fight either because, man, Hayato Tsutsumi put a beating on the Dominican. You know, he was working very close in the pocket, throwing a lot of punches to that body, varying back up top to the head. And he looked like a whole other fighter. He was sitting down on his punches. He was, placing his shots real nicely. And it looks like, the experience he's gotten in the first 4 fights. In this fight, he looked like more of a professional fighter, turning his punches over, it looked more dangerous. And it was a kind of performance where if you had any doubt about whether he could crack at the world level, you would look at Hayato Tsutsumi as now. At least I think if you go look at the way he's throwing his punches and you know what you're looking at, I feel like Tsutsumi in this fight proved against a guy who had a big knockout ratio, who was ranked in Ventura, that look, he can punch, he can definitely crack, and he's definitely improving fight by fight and being someone that is transitioning his style more from a professional style or an amateur style to the professional style, throwing those grown man punches like we say here on True School Sports. So a really encouraging performance from Hayato Tsutsumi. And again, I think in 2024, he's going to wind up fighting on a big network here in America. And a lot of the American fans will be exposed to him because the way it's looking, I mean, let me see. Let me pull it up right quick. I want to just pull it up right quick so even I can know better. I know he's ranked in a couple sanctioning bodies. Let me see. Yeah, because Hayato's going to be up there, man. He's one of the guys from Japan I really rate. Let me see your boxing rankings. Let me go check this out right quick. So I can give you guys the large picture. By the way, appreciate everybody this year for all the support on True School Sports. But featherweight. All right, so Tsutsumi right now is 12 in the WBC. He's not ranked in the WBA. He is not ranked in the IBF. And he is not ranked in the WBO. So right now, he's only a WBC ranked fighter. But again, he's 12. You look at some of the guys in and around him. You got Isaac Dogbe at 10. Joel Gonzalez at 8. Mick Collin at 9. Odabek Komatov 7. Nathaniel Collins 5. I mean, Mauricio Lara 3. Ruben Villa 2. So look, there's a lot of fights out there for Tsutsumi in 2024. And I just think, look, there's no need to groom him or anything like that. He's definitely someone that I think is going to be ready to fight at world level come 2024. And he showed it in this fight. So, yeah, that's the news, guys. That's the news. Hayato Tsutsumi gets an impressive third-round stoppage, the first one of his boxing career in his 5th pro fight against the Dominican Luis Moncion Ventura. And then Kazuto Ioka in the main event defends his WBA title against the overmatched Josber Perez and looks to, build off of getting the world title in bigger fights in 2024. So, yeah, that'll wrap it up, guys. That's my last video, my last post-fight review for 2023. It's been a long, arduous, but fruitful year here on True School Sports. And I hope in 2024 I can continue to give you guys more great boxing content, more great interviews, more great trips to these fights. January is going to be a busy month as I'll be scouring the United States of America, going to a lot of fights. So, should be a lot of fun. But you guys take care. God bless. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. We're here at the Hatanaka Boxing Gym in Nagoya, Japan. And for more great videos just like this one, make sure you guys click right here.